God who's created us and He's placed us in this life.
Yeah.
He's the one who feeds us, He's the one who sends down the rain, and He's the one we have to return back to. Do you believe in God, or?
Do I believe in
Yeah.
God? I don't believe in God as such.
Okay.
I respect other people's religions, and I like to understand them.
Okay, no problem.
The reason I don't believe in God is I lost my mum at a young age.
Okay.
She was a lovely lady.
Okay.
And what happened to her, she didn't deserve it.
Okay.
But since then,
yeah.
I think as I've grown up in London, it's very multicultural, multi-diverse.
Yes.
And I've worked with a lot of Muslims, Jewish, Hindu.
Okay.
So I've learned to understand everyone's culture, everyone's aspect of the world.
Yeah.
And I wanted, that's why I've got the Quran, because I wanted to read it, understand it.
Yeah, it's good. If I just finished my very short conclusion of what is Islam,
because
and then I'll come back to the point about your belief in God, if you don't mind. So we believe that God sent messengers and books, and we believe for three main reasons. One, to explain who is God, His names, His attributes. Second, to explain the way to God. What does God want us to do? What has He commanded? What has He forbidden? And then lastly, the third one, what happens when we meet God? What happens after we die? So, but the thing is, when you say that you don't actually believe in God, if you don't mind, what you've given is an emotional reason. Something obviously extremely difficult happened to you. But does that mean that that there's no creator, or does it mean that you're not happy with the creator?
Look, I believe
that
I've gone through a divorce recently as well.
Okay.
And I believe we've got on the earth.
Yeah.
You get to decide which path you want to walk down.
Of course.
And I think as you become more modernised, multiculturals, I think as long as you're not closed-minded, you're open-minded to everyone's opinion.
Yeah.
You can go through life and you can help people.
Okay.
And that doesn't for me, it doesn't mean if you're like Muslim, Jewish, or Hindu or Christian.
You're not going to discriminate.
For me, you know, there could be a guy on the streets just wanting a conversation.
Yeah.
I go buy him a sandwich.
Okay, that's very good.
But that doesn't mean I'm religious on it. I just think it's helping like your common man.
Yes. No, this is good.
Maybe there is a religious aspect into it and I don't see it, but for me, I think it's a mutual appreciation of everything, and it's like your aspect of it versus the house.
No, but even then, still the question of how do we get here? Like for example, now me and you are talking.
How did we get here?
Yes.
Are we talking about Charles Darwin, or are we talking about?
Yeah, there should be an answer.
Honestly, how we got here, it's probably a conversation that can go forever.
Yes. No, I would say it's quite simple.
There's obviously a point in creation that something happens.
Yeah.
And nobody knows truly what happens. But I think that's faith, no?
No, I would say...
You've got faith in either it was a higher power.
Yeah.
Or you've got faith that it was genetic and scientific.
Oh yeah, I would say both have faith. But I would say that this faith or this belief, it should be based on evidence.
Yeah.
Like for example, a very simple example, we're walking and we walk through a field.
Am I going to be on TV?
Not TV, better than TV. YouTube.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. We're walking.
It's okay, I was on Australian TV over there, so.
Okay. Yeah. So if we're walking through a field, and then we see a beautiful house, doors, windows, roof, everything, and we haven't seen anyone make it. We haven't seen any builders. Do you believe that someone built it?
What, the house?
Yeah.
Someone built the house, of course.
It couldn't be the wind and enough time, and the wind blew the water, and the water mixed with the sand, and the sand formed bricks. Yeah.
I've literally just come from London Bridge.
Okay.
And 21 years ago, I sat in the same spot.
Yeah.
I watched a tree.
Okay.
It's overgrown now.
Okay.
But I sat there for 21 years later.
Okay.
And now it's like a bush.
Okay.
So on that aspect.
Yes.
It's free.
It's free. Yes. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. Gambia?
Huh?
You're in Gambia?
No, Guinea.
Guinea. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Yes. So you're saying about your tree?
Yeah.
Barakallah. Alhamdulillah.
You speak Arabic?
Assalamu alaikum. Very little.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, brother. I just saw this man. How are you?
Very nice.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Everything good?
Everything good. I saw it. I couldn't resist.
No problem.
But
Alhamdulillah.
I believe you are in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Things happen to you for a reason.
Then you can't be an atheist then. Because the atheist, you know, there's certain things that...
An atheist is anti-religion.
No. There's certain things which people, I think they don't understand. When someone doesn't believe in a God, you just believe things are merely chemical reactions, it actually leads to there's no purpose. It's just chemical reactions. There's no morality. There's no absolute morality. It's just something which we make up. And also it means we don't have free will, which comes at atheism, which most people, they can't accept. But still, back to the house. From your experience in life and your understanding in life, can you believe that this house made itself?
No, of course it didn't make itself. Someone gave the person the skills.
Okay.
The person learned the skills to make the house.
Yes. So then if we take...
It's a purpose to build the house.
So now if you look at yourself, you know, the eyes which you see with, the ears which you hear with, we're standing here, we're breathing, our heart is beating, I'm communicating to you, you're hearing what I'm saying, you're understanding it, you're processing it, and you're replying. Do you think that this is just random as well?
I think me coming to you, because I work at Harrods,
okay,
and we always see the free Quran outside Harrods, and we're very heavily Middle Eastern driven.
Okay, of course,
business. Me moving to Saudi Arabia,
it's all a sign.
I'm a very respectful person.
That's good. I can see, yes.
And I like to understand people's culture and their beliefs. So I can make my own judgments.
Yeah, of course.
So I've always said, you know the cat on the fence?
I know, the expression sitting on the fence,
So, you know, the cats, they sit on the fence. They determine whether or not to jump down and congregate, so I'm the cat on the fence.
Okay.
I like to walk on the fences, watch what's going on, and then I judge and determine whether it's for me.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm never going to say maybe, you know, I'm a devout Muslim. I'm never going to say I'm a devout Christian, even though I was baptized. You know, that was my parents' decisions. And I think because what happened to my mum, and because I've lived in London for such a long time, and I've grown up in a very multicultural society, you know, I think, if I'm honest, Islam's had a bit of a tough ride over the past 10 years.
It's still doing quite well though. No, but the thing is, without being so insistent, to respect people and their cultures, as in how they dress, how they behave, how their family structures are, their food they eat, is all well and good. It's good. But you know the underlying reasons.
That's where you say Allah Akbar.
Yes, Allah Akbar. But the reason why they think like this, the reason why they behave like this, because I would still say we have the issue of, is there a creator or not? There's something in the Quran, I mean you can look it up later, but it's chapter 52, and it's 2 verses concerning, is there a creator? And it's very interesting because it's only 2 verses, it's quite short. But I would say the argument is, it can't actually be responded to or refuted. So it mentions, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ. أم خلق السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون.
So you do speak Arabic?
Little. Yes. So it's asking a question. It's in the Quran is very interesting. There's a lot of places where questions are asked. Rather than just telling you, you must believe this, you must do this. There are places like this, but the Quran has a lot of places where it asks you a question, it wants you to think. So Allah asked the question, were you created for nothing? Or did you create yourself? Did you create the sky and the earth? Then Allah gives a conclusion, He says, but rather they have no certainty. So you know this argument, if I explain the argument, were we created for nothing? So nothing exists and then we came into existence. Everyone with using their reason, their logic, they would say this is impossible. Something which doesn't exist, there's nothing there, it can't bring something into existence. That's one. Then the next question, or did you create yourself? It's not possible that we didn't exist and then we chose to make ourselves. So even though two things are mentioned,
Darwinism versus religion.
No, not really, because even that
is a little bit. That's the controversy between religion and Scientology.
You know why I would say no? Because Darwinism is explaining once there was a original species, once there was a beginning, how we got so many different types of species of human beings. Yeah. This is the process. But Darwinism doesn't...
And then you've also got the theory of evolution versus destruction of the ecosystem.
Okay, we can come to that afterwards.
You see?
No problem, but you know Darwinism...
I think we're the sixth society, they reckon.
Yeah, right? But the thing is, Darwinism doesn't explain how did you get that first living being. Is explaining they had a living being and by random mutation and how would you say, survival of the fittest, that we got so many different species. But it still doesn't explain how did we come into existence, and that's the question we're on first. So this verse in Quran, it mentions two things. Were you created for nothing or did you create yourself? This is very clear that no one can say we were created for nothing. No one can say we created ourselves. So this necessitates that there has to be a God. There has to be a God. Let me continue, then we'll come back. Then it said, did you create the heavens and the earth? So we are living on a planet. We're living in the atmosphere. We have air we breathe. We have the sun. We have the rain, everything. We didn't create this ourselves. Something had to create this. And then lastly, which I find the most interesting, the verse, it finishes where Allah, He makes a conclusion. He says, بَلْ هُمْ لَا يُوقِنُونَ, but rather they have no certainty.
Okay.
If you read or if you listen to all of the people who propose evolution, the Big Bang Theory, that there's no creator, etc., you will never find any of them have certainty. They will say, we think it's this, but it could be something else. We're still looking into it. We hope that one day science will give us the answer. So it's actually 1,400 years ago, the Quran has made an announcement. Those people who don't believe in a creator, they will never have certainty. And this is something which we found out today. So we still go back to the point of there has to be a creator. That's the first thing.
I think that's faith, isn't it?
It's belief based on reason. And if you look at
the way I see it, and we can talk about this all day.
We can.
So you imagine like you're born. You're a child. You're a baby. You're like a white canvas. And then as you grow up, the outside factors start to paint your canvas to start to determine who you're going to be.
To a certain aspect,
when you get to a certain level of maturity, you can either go with the grain, or you can go, I don't believe this is right, this is not for me, and I want to do this. Or you can be like me, look out on the fence, and you can sit there and you can watch all the societies and all the cultures. So you would fall under the بَلْ لَا يُوقِنُونَ, but rather they have no certainty.
Do you not find it interesting that you're in this life and it's a temporary life? We are going to leave this world one day, and you have no certainty.
So I was married for 12 years.
Okay.
And I've just been divorced. I lost my mum 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm moving to Saudi Arabia, which is the complete opposite of London.
Yeah.
And is that a decision that I've made? I'm not sure. Is that a job that I got offered? I turned down the opportunity to go to the Middle East before.
Yeah.
I've always been drawn to
there's an aspect of choice. Like, for example, you saw us today and you chose to come over. At any moment, you're not a prisoner. At any moment you can leave. So you do have a choice. I mean, there are...
Last guy, I'm giving you the time.
No problem.
I'm giving you YouTube time.
Thank you very much. There are factors around us that affect us.
How many followers are you going to get on this?
No idea. But there are factors around us which influence us, what society we're born in, what time we're born in, if we're wealthy, if we're poor. These affect us.
Yeah.
But in all of this, we still have choices.
At the end of the day, I always believe you're going to die alone. You're going to die as you came into the world. The only thing that you can influence is your time on here. And that's paying respect to your man, or loving the wife, or looking after your children.
But we would say one step further, you have this choice in this life, but according to the choices you make, the beliefs which you choose or you reject, the actions which you do, whether good or bad, it will have an effect on your hereafter.
Are they giving you sunscreen?
No.
I've just noticed the ginger in your beard and the heat on the back of my neck.
Sometimes I wear a hat. But,
okay.
Yes. But that aside, we still have that question.
Yeah.
I would... Perhaps we're not going to reach a conclusion today, but I would...
It's a lot of therapy to get to that conclusion.
Yes, but even the issue of your mother passing away or your divorce, this I wouldn't say affects, is there a God or is there isn't a God? Because, for example, if a person's mother was still alive, or the person was still in a happy marriage, there still is a God or there's not a God. But in the Quran, in chapter 2, it mentions, it's quite interesting because usually I think society has put us in a position where when someone says there is a God, whether they're Muslim, Christian, Jew, etc., it feels like there's an obligation that they have to explain why they believe in a God. The Quran takes it another way. In chapter 2 it mentions, كَيْفَ تَكْفُرُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا فَأَحْيَاكُمْ ثُمَّ يُمِيتُكُمْ ثُمَّ يُحْيِيكُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. Allah asks, again is a question, how do you disbelieve in Allah, considering that you were dead, meaning before life, and then we gave you life, and then after this life we will cause you to die, and then we will cause you to come back to life again in the hereafter, and you will return to us. So this thing of this initial question, the first question, how do you disbelieve in a God? Most people, they're very comfortable asking a religious person, but why do you believe? Why do you have faith? But if the question is turned and said, like if I put you on the spot now, I know you're on the YouTube, etc., but how can you not believe in a God? How can you not believe in a God, considering you're here, considering the sun is shining, considering the process of life in your mother's stomach for 9 months, you're born, you're crawling, your teeth grow, you begin to walk, your facial hair grows, then it turns white, etc. You know, there's a constant process around us. We see the spring, the summer, the autumn, the winter, we see the rain falling. So how can you not believe in a God?
You put me on the spot here. So the reason I don't fully believe there's a God is because I'm still open for the decision and listen to discussions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am in a process of my life where I'm deciding where my path will go.
Okay.
So that could be, like I just said, I've been sat in London Bridge for the past 3 hours, watching the bush that I first came to London 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I've seen it, and you know, it must
have been very strange sitting there.
I think people thought I was a bit insane.
No, but even for yourself, like imagining I was here 20 years ago.
You know, and so it's from that aspect where I'm in a process currently in my life where, you know, religion aside, if someone needs help,
Yeah.
I'll help them.
Which is very good. Which is very good.
But so it doesn't matter if you're Christian or Hindu or Muslim or Jewish.
Can I ask you a question related to that? I'm not asking in a selfish way. You, for example, you have a job, you have some money in your pocket, and then you see a person they're having difficulties, they're having problems. And then you go to the shop, you buy them a sandwich, you give them a sandwich. Now, you're not doing it so people say you're a great man, but do you feel some sort of satisfaction when you do it? Not in a selfish way.
I don't see it as satisfaction. I just see it as, it's nice to help people.
Yeah.
If you have the ability to help people, you should help people.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that you start thinking, wow, I'm a great man. But I'm saying you do have some kind of pleasure or satisfaction in helping someone.
It's not pleasure or satisfaction.
Yeah.
I don't get pleasure or satisfaction out of it. I know from personal experiences.
Yeah.
20 years ago, I was on the streets. I made a lot of bad decisions. And it was people around me that sorted me out, put me on the right path sort of thing, put me in the framework to be successful. And, I think when you look at homeless people, a lot of homeless people in the UK, males, are ex-military anyway. And that's due to mental illness. And, that's because we as a country have failed them. We haven't given them the support, whether it is, faith or a belief or something to look at.
Yeah.
To wake up every morning, they're still going the old same fundamentals of...
Basically, they're like cannon fodder.
Yeah, and you see them on the street and you think, these guys have given their whole lives for our country, and it doesn't matter what country they're in. If the country then turns their back on them, and they need help, then we as people should be there helping them.
On a side issue, when these people are given their life for Queen and country or King and country,
Queen, King, or God,
do you think they actually? I mean, many of them they believe that, but do you think that those people who sent them off, their issue was King, Queen, and country, or do you think it was?
Sent them off?
Yeah. Do you think it was more
the higher management?
If you call them the elite, do you think that their interest was?
No, their interest is one-sided.
Financial.
Financial,
power,
financial.
control.
Yeah.
So I think they were used.
I'm going to work for the Saudis.
Yeah.
And I currently work for the Qatar family.
Yeah.
So I work for Harris.
Okay.
Maybe block that one out. It's all financial.
Of course.
Gain.
Yeah.
And, I think the Saudi environment, it's very Islamic based. What's it called?
Sorry?
Sharia law? No.
Oh, they call it Sharia law. Sharia law, yeah.
Yeah, so everything's like very old school.
To an extent. But I would say, because it's one thing standing in London and we're talking about it, but when you actually see it in practice, even if it's not 100%, I think you will notice the benefits. Because what happens is when we hear Sharia law in the West, I understand you don't think like this, but some people Sharia law means stoning someone to death, chopping someone's head off. But Sharia law covers, taking care of your parents, fulfilling the rights of your wife.
The standards in life, basically.
Yeah.
You respect your parents, you respect your children, you respect your life.
Yeah.
You respect your man.
Yeah.
Don't steal.
Yeah.
Don't, what's it called? Where you don't defile yourself.
Okay, yes.
Keep yourself pure.
Yes.
Basically, yeah?
Yeah.
See, I'm studying, yeah?
That's good. No, there's basically, the scholars in Islam, they looked over the whole Quran and Sunnah or the Sharia law, and they've actually said that there's 5 objectives to Islam. One is the protection of religion. People, they can follow their religion, they can worship one God, etc. The religion is protected. It's not something where we can have mocking of other religions or criticizing other religions. People are free to choose their religion and practice their religion. Life. Islam, it respects life. It respects the intellect. Hence why alcohol, intoxicating drugs are forbidden. Nasr.
What do you think about, obviously, Middle East countries flex into the West? Because obviously Dubai is very westernised now.
Yes.
Qatar is very westernised.
Yeah.
And obviously Saudi.
Yeah.
They are moving. I think it's next year. They're going to legalise alcohol.
In some areas, I believe, yes.
It's like hotels and
I think
areas.
Yeah, it's problematic, very problematic.
What's the journey to Mecca called?
Oh, Hajj.
Yeah,
Hajj. The pilgrimage.
Yeah, in Jeddah, obviously, there's a lot of people that come over.
Yes.
And they start their Hajj. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it Hajj?
Hajj, yes.
Oh,
yeah. No, you land in Jeddah, yeah. Then you make your way.
You're impressed, yeah?
Sorry?
You're a little bit impressed, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
No problem. See the thing. Let me just continue, then I'll come back to that point. So.
I am going to have to go soon though, yeah?
No problem, no problem.
I've got a dinner date in half an
No
hour.
problem,
So.
that's good. So Islam, it protects religion, it protects life, it protects the intellect, it protects the family lineage, as in Islam, adultery, fornication is forbidden, so everyone should know who is their father, etc., etc. And then lastly, it protects property. So people, they find it harsh, but if a person, they steal out of greed, not out of necessity, but they steal out of greed, then the legislated law is their hand should be cut in a public place. People, they find it extremely harsh, but when you go to Muslim countries, one, because of people believe in God and they believe they'll be accountable in their judgment, but also because of the laws. Property is safe. Like, you know, the idea of locking your front door, locking your car.
Yeah,
people find it.
Back in the UK in the 1960s.
People find it very strange. Like, I was at college when I was young, long time ago, and
younger than me.
I had an English teacher who was an engineer in Saudi. He said that he left him and his wife were walking in the shopping mall, and she left her purse. They said they came back 4 hours, and the purse was still there.
Okay.
So you have these laws, but they actually protect the family, they protect the society. Yeah.
Nobody will ever touch it.
Yeah. Because I think it's the cultural. Yeah.
But in Jeddah they do.
Yeah. So I think it's the belief in Allah and the Day of Judgment, but also the law as well, and it has an effect upon the people. So, but as for the changes they're making, I think they're going to regret it.
Yeah.
But even in those lands, there's still many very good people, very pious people, and I think it's a case of one of the things which you said, like in the West, we had the opportunity to taste both worlds, and we've seen that if you go this way, this will happen. If you go this way, this will happen. So we have more of an informed choice. I think some of the people, they've just looked at the glitter of what the West has to offer, and they want to try it, or they want to bring it to their lands without realizing the problems it brings. So
There's a lot of noise with it.
And problems. So I hope that some of them are going to taste the outcome and then abandon it. But yeah, it is a struggle. Anyway, sir, thank you very much for your time.
Really nice. Like
no problem.
An hour, no?
Probably, possibly more.
I'll do a selfie with you and I'll send it to you.
Okay, no problem.
Want to do a selfie?
I don't mind. It's your choice.
What's your? Where am I sending it?
Oh no, you don't have to send it. It's yours to keep.
I'm going to prove. I'm going to.
Okay.
There's a girl in Jeddah.
Okay.
So I'm learning her way of life, basically.
Okay, no problem.
Smile.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, sir. I should have asked your name at the beginning.
Daniel.
Yusuf. Nice to meet you.
Alaikum salam, man.
Alaikum. We're here every Saturday if you have any more questions.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll visit you in Jeddah one day.
Come in Harrods.
Okay, no problem. What department are you in?
Kitchens.
Okay.
So we see these signs outside Harrods a lot.
Okay.
But is it all the same sort of community? Or is it different?
No, I think it's different organisations.
Okay.
We probably see eye to eye on all issues. There are Muslim brothers, but I think everyone, they do it themselves. I think some of the ones in central London, they have like a network.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10 tables or 20. But yeah. Anyway, Daniel, thank you very much for your time.
What was your name?
Yusuf,
Daniel.
as in Joseph.
Yusuf.
No problem.
Nice to
Okay,
meet you.
you as well. Thank you very much. This gentleman,
Yeah.
he's